What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. This Tyrese DJ Envy is a lot. And normally I would be doing this as a pre-record because this is technically like a deep dive, but I wanted to see what you guys had to say. So like the video as the intro plays because we got a lot to get into with this one. It's so layered. It's a whole lot.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. I want to make it make sense. Make it make sense. That's all. 1 and 1 got to equal 2.
Make it make sense, boo.
Big moves. Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Trying to run, she can't run. Now who can't run? Now who can't run? Who can't run? Yeah.
Somebody asked me if I could get Sharonda. If I could find Sharonda, I would get her for the show. Okay, so first things first. Thank you for everybody who has subscribed. We are now over 60,000 subscribers. I did a post on my Instagram, Make It Make Sense Now, where I kind of like exposed a few things. First off, sometimes YouTube does play with me. 1 week they like demonetized all my videos. No explanation. They demonetized it. And then they will remonetize it. Typically, if you have something where they're a little bit nervous, they will limit your ads on something. But if your video is moving pretty fast, they will have a live person review it and then bring your monetization back. The problem with that is if a content creator has like worked really hard on something, they're not cursing, there's nothing really controversial about it, they're doing their job. Once something gets demonetized, for a small content creator like me, most of my views are upfront. So they're going to be within the first couple days. If they demonetize all your stuff and they wait a week to bring it back, that means that the content creator will have made nothing for the work that they did. Like that charade expose stuff, that took like days. That was like literally days. So it's disheartening, but it will not get me down. The Steve Harvey video that we did, that live, they demonetized that. It has like 80,000 views. There was absolutely nothing wrong with what I did. They demonetized an RHOA review. You can't get much more non-controversial than that. So it's very weird, but thank you guys for sticking by me. I'm still going to produce content, even if they decide not to like pay me for it, I guess. It's really weird. Which is why I should be doing my Mims YouTube tips. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. But okay. So thank you guys. 60,000 is absolutely amazing. I am extremely humbled. Shane says YouTube needs to be transparent. Right. Now, if you do something like you show a body, a leg or something like that, then, maybe, but it is what it is. I appreciate the platform. I appreciate being able to come out to talk to you guys. So some stuff that I feel is so important, it doesn't really even matter, right? But if everything gets it for like a week, it really does kind of suck. But anyway, typically if you do something really egregious, they will definitely put like a timestamp. But without a timestamp, it's it's left up to whatever. But okay, let's get into it. There are so many layers to this Breakfast Club, DJ Envy, Tyrese saga that I had to bring this one live because it can't just be like a 20-minute video. So let's start with Erica Mena, because Erica Mena plays a role. I thought that this was just common knowledge. These are the players that we're going to be talking about. We got DJ Envy, we got Erica Mena, we got Tyrese. Do I have a better picture of Tyrese? Y'all know Tyrese. And his wife. So I'm starting with the Erica Mena apology and not the DJ Envy part, because you'll understand why. For starters, Erica Mena apologizes finally. Shout out to TV Deets. It says Erica Mena releases a statement to TMZ after she was fired from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for using a slur. I deeply regret my insensitive comment and want to humbly apologize to anybody I hurt or offended by my thoughtlessness. My choice of words was wrong, and I take full responsibility for what I said. I'm committed to listening to the voices of those affected and will look forward to making amends. Now, y'all know that this was written by a PR person, because Erica Mena, I would not say, is the most cerebral or she's vocal if she's screaming. She's not like in tune with what's going on. People like Erica Mena have been so accustomed to being considered the standard of beauty and being paid well for bad behavior that they don't understand that there are consequences that comes with stuff. As a woman of color, and now you're a woman of color. As a woman of color and the mother of 2 Black children, I want to make it clear that my use of the word was not in any way racially driven. That said, I do understand the gravity of what I said and want to use my platform to promote inclusivity and equality. I don't know if she can spell either of those last 2 words. Again, if you don't know what this is, there was a normal Love and Hip Hop fight. Spice, I do feel, attacked her motherhood and said that her child hates her. I know for a lot of mothers, that would be all gloves off. I still stand by what I said. If you read, the first thing that you think about to read somebody is by calling a Black person a monkey or other racially insensitive, tropes, then I don't think you deserve to be in Black spaces. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't. But, it's up for debate. Some people feel, I had a lot of people saying they need me to go live on this topic because they feel like Spice was in the wrong and that Erica Mena just did what any mother would do. I allow you to have your thoughts. I just don't agree with it. So Erica Mena also was in the comment section because she can't, help it. There was a Spice. Somebody mentioned Spice in the comments. Let me see if I can find it. I don't think I have it up here, so I'll just read it to you guys. It says, where is it? Somebody was in a comment section saying that Spice was wrong, and Erica Mena commented after the apology saying, basically, Spice would never have the balls to apologize like I did. And it's like, this would be a time to be quiet. If you're going to release the statement, release the statement. Oh, here we go. It says, did she apologize to you for bringing up your child? Now, this is under the comments about the apology. And Erica says she will never have the guts, unfortunately. Leave it alone. I think that this was a forced apology because Erica Mena has now also been fired from All Black. So you're not on Love and Hip Hop. You're not going to be doing your series on All Black, which I think also stars Candace from Potomac. Additionally, I didn't remember this till I was doing my deep dive, but there was a scene on Love and Hip Hop where she's thanking the Lord that her divorce was finalized. Actually, let me see if I can. Tyrese shared it, weirdly enough, because in that scene, Erica Mena also finds out that she's not getting child support. And what has happened is Tyrese has become a big proponent for fathers who do not feel that the child support is either going to the actual child or they feel like the amount given in child support is egregious. So forever ago, Tyrese had posted that in real time. So as I'm looking through all this, I'm like, there's too many attachments. It's a lot. Like the video. We have like almost 500 people in here. It definitely helps the channel. For new content creators, one more thing to say about what happens when things get age restricted and such. There are a lot of people on YouTube who never sign in. So when you see me asking people to like the video, I'm asking the people specifically who have signed in, because half the people who are watching live and or just watching the replay never sign in. So what you need is the people who are live. It's like a reminder, please like the video, because it counts as engagement. Once a video is age restricted, that means that for those people who will never sign in, never create a account, they're not able to watch your video. So it will hurt your views. That's for new content creators. So you want to be very like cognizant of what you're doing and saying, because once your stuff gets, struck, age restricted, demonetized, it's not great. But okay, yes, this was definitely a PR apology, but let's get into the mess. The reason that Mena is included in this conversation is because we're going to be talking a lot about DJ Envy. And at one point, Mena was DJ Envy's mistress. I know a lot of you people know that. Not a lot of you people. I know a lot of people know that, but a lot of people don't. I was talking to my sister about the mental health aspect and just kind of like telling her about this video I was going to do. And when I mentioned that, she was like, what? Yes. So when we're talking about all of this Tyrese stuff, you will see how Mena played a role, ridiculously, of all people, Mena, who loves to talk about her being, in the business and being a real model. Her very first scene on Love and Hip Hop, she was literally scratching Kimbella's face saying she was the real model. And, people like Kimbella just kind of like bend over and take pictures. And, she's been in the business and all these things. But technically, if we're really going to break down Mena, we just have to say you got on this show. It was at all costs. You thought that, the video modeling would work for you. It didn't. She was short-lived on Keeping Up with the Kardashians spinoff. Courtney and Khloe Take Miami. She was one of the Dash girls. That didn't necessarily take off. She gets on Love and Hip Hop. She's a very pretty lady, so they like her. She is willing to, fight on camera. She's getting rewarded. The problem is she's not very talented in terms of singing. So what do? You start dating a manager who can get you in with producers. Okay, that didn't technically work. So what's the next step? You start messing with the biggest DJ on the biggest DJ. They're syndicated across, I believe, the globe. So, she was in the Chris Brown Excuse Me Miss video, but again, these things didn't like catapult her to where she felt she should be. The Kardashians didn't, the music videos didn't, Love and Hip Hop didn't, because she never really expanded past the franchise. It's not like she was K Michelle or Jocelyn, Cardi B, etc. Because she was technically, I wouldn't even call her moderately talented. But the point is, DJ Andrew is a very married man. This is his wife, very beautiful woman. She's actually extremely, I would call her sophisticated and classy to be dating, or married to DJ Envy. That's the background. That's the background. Let's get into this, because Tyrese was on The Breakfast Club, and it felt to me initially like he was like pouring his guts out, and The Breakfast Club was making light of his mental health, things that I didn't technically even know about Tyrese until this deep dive. So we're going to listen to this. We're going to listen to Tyrese's response. But part of me thinks that Tyrese just has a big head. I'll let you guys decide.
We don't really have those luxuries, right? So I think it's in everybody's best interest, especially now, because being an entrepreneur, figuring out all kind of other ways of getting bags and getting money, it is more real now than it's ever been. A rapper used to just be a rapper. A singer used to just be a singer. It was the Russell Simmons introducing us to Fat Farm, and P. Diddy's with the Sean Johns, and then the Ciroc. And so we're all sitting back and we're watching this all play out, and we're like, well, shit, whether you sell records or not, you still feeding your family and taking care of business and taking care of your overhead. and you don't have to worry about, oh man, the last album did 1 million when that was a part of the music business. Last album did 1 million the first week, and the single was #1 for this, and now the album just did 12,000 the first week. Well, shit, you about to be in foreclosure in 3 weeks. You know, just the dependency on just doing music. So, you know, the movies and the opportunities that God has blessed me with these films, on the level of the films that I've been able to do, when I do music, it's when I actually feel it. When something
I wanted you guys to hear that part specifically because he is very talented, right? It's the things that he says offline that are problematic.
You know,
Reason that you are with your wife today.
So, but what was that moment? You say, and the single was #1 for this. Do music. It's when I actually feel it.
So, but what was that moment? You said when you get a moment. What was the moment that said, "I want to start doing it again"? Was it your daughter?
No, it was the divorce. It was the unexpected divorce.
So that's where Beautiful Pain solely came from.
Yes.
Okay.
Can R&B artists only write through the lens of pain though? Because you had a lot of good moments over the last 8-9 years.
Nobody want to hear that.
The beautiful. No, here's the thing, right? And I got to make sure I say this because this platform is powerful. I love y'all and thank y'all again for having me. But there is nothing about my album where I'm coming into this thing.
He's saying thank you guys for having me, but low key, at this point, Charlemagne doesn't really like him, and nor does DJ Envy.
Specifically trying to use my voice, stage, and platform in music to say fuck him, fuck her. I don't, you know, I could do bad, but that's not my. Everything about this album is a divorce deterrent. I don't want when people see me posting about the specifics of things that I've been through, certain manipulation and lies that my ex is putting out there. I'm unpacking real shit. But I was just having a conversation last night with somebody who's going through a situation right now. And although I didn't do a DJ Envy,
he wasn't talking to me this time. It wasn't me this time.
No,
put that out there. This
didn't give me no assignment to do nothing like that. You know, because that ain't. I'm like, okay, well, if it's an assignment, then it ain't something that you're gonna do 10, 12 times in a row. So I was very clear that what God put on my heart to do with my brother, you know, it happened. But yeah,
I don't know if he appreciates that as much as he should.
He don't.
Do you appreciate what Tyrese did for you back then?
Of course. No.
Okay, just making sure.
I don't feel like.
I want you to see DJ Envy's face. There's things that, you know, I can't really show you guys the video all the time because people will strike your stuff. But this is DJ Envy's face as they're asking him that. So you can tell at this point, he's definitely agitated that this is about to come up. Because he was playing nice initially.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
I don't feel like you do.
Why don't you know?
No, I come to the breakfast club. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
I'll explain it.
Yeah.
All right.
I was going through a hard time. Cheated on my wife. My wife wanted to get a divorce. Charlemagne talked me into apologizing on the radio and calling her live.
Okay, Martin Lawrence, what the hell? Why would you ever?
That didn't happen yet.
Bad idea,
What?
but it was a good idea. I'm gonna tell you why. Bad idea because I put my business on the radio.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Tyrese happened to be in town and heard some of the things that were going on. So Tyrese called to check on me and see what was going on. I was going through it, and instead of just checking and keeping moving, he stayed on top of it to the point where he became the therapist, the mediator, the person in between,
the reason that you are with your wife today, still
part of that reason, correct? Absolutely. So he was in there being that person in the middle of it. So he was the one where he was explaining and talking, because sometimes during those type of situations, wife didn't want to hear from me. My wife didn't want to hear from me.
Absolutely not.
But you know, she was hearing from Tyrese from a different side.
Anything.
Can I finish my story? So anyway, Tyrese called and said, "Hey, this is what I want you to do. Get a dinner, book a private room at your house. I'm going to be there. You and your wife have a dinner, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to sing Stay, which is my favorite Tyrese song.
Oh my God.
Right? And he had a violinist, and he came and they sang Stay, and you know, he sat down there with us for dinner and spoke to us and guided us through as far as he could our relationship, and you know, we had to go through other steps.
And with all of that, Tyrese still got a big Envy to play the record.
And then the thing is, and then y'all treat him like this when he comes here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Well,
Ty.
no, before I even got here, that's the whole thing. With Charlemagne.
Now that is really ridiculously beautiful to think that somebody, because it's clear that he didn't really know them. He said God put it on his heart to help them fix their marriage. He did all that at his own expense. And the end result was DJ Envy was forgiven for having an affair with Erica Mena, and him and his wife, according to him, have been stronger ever since. Right? Just on its face, it's a very beautiful story. And you would think, okay, he owes Tyrese a lot.
Thing just said, it's true. I don't feel, and you got to keep in mind, I look at it as heavenly deposits. When you do things for people, and you're not saying, I'm gonna do this because I want this out of it.
Right.
Like the most uncomfortable part of my day thus far is just listening to Envy tell that story.
Oh, why? Why is that
Because
uncomfortable?
I didn't do it to be
For that, to be
applauded for
praised about it.
I didn't do it because
But technically, you brought it up. See, this is the issue. It's so layered, y'all. You brought it up. Envy didn't bring it up. You brought it up. So then once it's brought up, then, you know, Charlemagne is able to be messy like he is. And now the story comes out. Now, I'm sure people knew the story. I didn't know the story till this interview, but you cannot say that it makes you uncomfortable when you bring it up.
I knew that they was going to write their book together about it or be doing interviews about it.
You use that, Tyrese, as a tool.
It was literally an assignment. So crazy that even before I came here to sing at this restaurant, we were already on the phone for at least 2 months. I didn't hear your
Damn, I never
interview
heard
in
anybody
New
say
York.
that before. We was on the phone for 2 months.
We was on the phone for 2 straight months because I never heard your interview from New York. That happened for me for LA.
Oh, from LA.
Yeah, because when you announced it, it went viral. So I was able to hear the apology on the gram. So that's when I reached out to you. And then this is something I've never told you. You remember when I said, hey man, make arrangements to get the whole house clean, the housekeeper. And then I said, I'm gonna set up the room, come meet me here. And we organized all of that. I text you and I was like, yo man, I'm on my way to New York. I got a bunch of interviews and meetings and label. I got to go run in label, go this and that.
Mind you, he has said that he was uncomfortable with it being brought up. Now you're adding to the story. Are y'all following me? Like, Ruby Del Farah, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Jessica Holmes, thank you for the super chat. She says Tyrese grandiosity and constant belief that he's assigned to insert himself in people's lives is a symptom of the mental health issues he's desperately trying to avoid treating. Now, this is Jessica's opinion. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know if he's trying to avoid his treatment. I know that the medicine that he was on, Rexulti, he said he had a very horrible reaction to it, and we'll get into that. Thank you for the super chat.
That was all a lie. I flew in town just for you and your wife.
Oh, wow.
So
you don't play his records?
No,
it's not about his records.
I don't need my records played.
Yeah.
But I will say this.
But this is the part that I don't appreciate about Envy. Is when Tyrese divorce comes across your headline, when the captions associated to the things that come across your desk, where's that same heart and love that I extended to you that you could extend to me instead of it just being paper pushing? And this is what Tyrese is on the gram again.
That's
and
exactly what
it's
he
like,
do.
okay, that's expected. No, it's all right. This is my brother.
Envy can't sing though.
No,
No,
Envy
okay.
never does
Shut
that.
up.
though.
Why is everything
He
a joke
does
to you?
that.
I'm not joking.
Everything
I'm
is
serious.
While
that.
every on-air personality, blog, podcast, whatever, they got a job to do. They're gonna say things for clickbait, ratings, this and that. But when you have certain people on the radio and you've developed some type of relationship with them, and again, you owe me nothing, right? Ultimately, you did the work.
Right.
This was what I mean by this was a tool. So you have brought up the story of what you did for him, and then you said that God placed it on your heart to do it. So then the story comes out. Now what Tyrese is doing is saying, I did this beautiful thing for you. Why are you reporting gossip on your show that reports gossip? He is now shifting the narrative for the audience. Are y'all following this? It's so layered. You don't want to talk about it, but you brought it up. Now the story is out. Now you are able to tell Charlemagne and them, well, you're wrong for not reaching out to me because look at what I did for DJ Envy. I am owed something. But last time I checked, if the Lord placed something on your heart and you did it and it came to fruition, the Lord will bless you. But okay.
God just decided to take my hand and use it in any way he can. And there's nobody that could ever give me more props than what God has done for me.
Yeah.
To say, like, good job, son. You did everything I asked you to do. You don't even know what I have in mind for you, but you did it. And there's a very...
Oh, we're going to get on the beige bath. Let me not call him that. I'm already in trouble. We're going to get on Envy because he is not clean in this situation at all. At all. Even Jess, he's not my favorite, she said some things that I didn't like.
Very married couple that was very married. Everybody go through things. But why is my marriage funny? Why is my divorce just something to talk about.
Perfect.
Where is the
question.
outreach?
This is a good conversation. Let's put it all out there.
Where is the call? You good, Reese?
It's like
we
I need
checked
to
on
come
you.
to Atlanta and come pull up on you at the house.
Charlamagne did,
put my
but
eyes on you.
let me tell you.
Charlamagne came to do an interview that I requested for him to do. I never stepped in, and God never used me to step in when this man's marriage was potentially on the brink.
I'm gonna tell you why. It's kind of like when a preacher tells you something in church, right? And the preacher tells you what you need to do to be better. Then you look at the preacher's life and you say, how do you teach me something that you're not doing? I don't respect the preacher anymore.
Oh shit.
I respect the message and how it came. But you know what I've been through, and you know how I changed as a man and as a person. And you were there for it. You was a brother for it. But then when I look at my brother and saying what he's telling me to do and how he's telling me to live, he's not living that way. I don't respect it.
How do we know that, though?
But I'm gonna tell you why, because and these are the things that we've seen, and not only in private, because things that we know in private, but it's also things that I see in public.
Okay.
Me and my
So I'm kind of with Envy in the fact that right message, wrong messenger. Not per se about Tyrese, but in general, I have a difficult time. I always use Giselle's husband as an example. Jamal Bryant can't get on the pulpit and tell me anything about being a cheater and what not to do as it pertains to cheating. Sorry, I don't see it. But that's probably the last time I agree with DJ Envy in this whole conversation.
Me and my wife are good, right?
Hold on, I got to respond to that.
Let me give examples first so you understand where I'm coming from. Because if you don't know where I'm coming from, you're just going to pull things out of the blue.
I'm not going to pull anything out the blue. I'm going to respond to what you just said. First of all, to arrive at an opinion of what I'm doing versus what I'm not doing is based on public consumption. I never made a decision, or God never used me to make a decision about your life based on what was being reported on public consumption. What I know about you, what I know about what you did, what I ultimately knew about what your wife was feeling and carrying and what y'all were in the process of, you couldn't read none of that online. I got that information from the outreach. So whatever feelings you have about me and what I should be or shouldn't be doing pertaining to my approach with how I'm unraveling and bleeding out loud in the middle of my thing, that would have actually been the reason to call.
No, and I did have conversations with you. And this is from before your ex-wife, when you were talking to the girl out overseas and who you were as a man. I didn't respect that. And then when we talk on these private chats and it has nothing to do with the public, just having to do with who you were and how you speak and how you talk about the people next to you, I didn't respect it. To the point where I blocked you on my chat. Because I didn't want to see Tyrese as that. That's not the man that was my brother.
Let's shoot bail, because I think this is a great conversation, because I think it's a lot of miscommunication between all of us, right? And you were going through a lot back then, because you admitted that to me. Because when me and you had words.
Are we talking about psych med?
Yeah. That's when you was on the psych med.
A little bit of everything.
He was on the psych med then.
What's surprising is Tyrese said in a very surprised manner, are we talking about psych meds? We'll get into it. Because at this point, I'm thinking, if this man is on psych meds, this is a whole different conversation. If this man is upfront about his struggles, this is a whole different conversation and should be treated with kid gloves. That's where I'm at this point.
You said you don't even remember a lot of the stuff you were saying.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't at all. Yeah. So it's just like when you get drunk, do you hold your boy to what he's saying while he's drunk?
No, I never held that against you.
Okay. Do you hold anybody to anything that they're doing when you know that this is their usual self? They were drunk, they were out of their mind, and they end up saying and doing some shit that hurt my feelings, that was offensive, that made me feel away. But I know that characteristically, that's not who this man is.
See, the difference is...
That's a good point.
I honestly don't know what psych meds you were on or who you
You
were.
do know,
I don't know. I don't know.
It's called Rick Salty. It fucked me up.
I don't know. I never had a conversation with you because I never wanted to see you like that. The person who spoke to me on these texts, spoke to my wife during that time at the text, I didn't like that. And I wanted to remember Tyrese as a person that was my brother and help my relationship, not the Tyrese that I was going through. So I took a step back from
so you got the text messages
conversation.
of the psych med Tyrese?
He did.
That was crazy. Charlamagne told you to suck his dick before on that message.
Because you were talking crazy.
Whoa.
You know that. We had this conversation already.
Guys.
But he literally said, I don't remember any of that.
I don't remember what I said that made you say that or made you feel that way.
But to this point, I took a step back because I didn't know what you were going through. And I tried to talk to you and I seen who you were. And not even like who you were online. And to my point, I tried. And when I seen how you were talking this way, I said, I'm going to take a step back.
And you know, when me and Tyrese had a
I don't know. Like at this point, I don't know what's true or not. Got another couple super chats. Tamara says Tyrese cannot accept his wife leaving him. He tried to sleep with Envy's wife. He's blaming his medication. I believe he's being manipulative. Tamara, it's the whole spectrum. Like the entire spectrum, laughing at the mental health stuff. And we're going to get into that. Tyrese trying to get with Envy's wife. Envy not necessarily reaching out after he found out that the man was having some struggles. It's a lot. It's a lot. There's so many different. That's why I brought this to you guys, because I know everybody hadn't seen this, but this was a lot. Just here to learn. He said God made envy his assignment. That doesn't mean God made Tyrese envy's assignment. So ask God, not envy. Thank you. Just here to learn. It's a lot.
Convenient.
How convenient? Yeah, how convenient. Yeah, when the way you were talking, the way that you were.
How convenient.
How,
to step back.
What you mean?
I never stepped back from you.
From you.
That's right.
You should have.
I never talked to your wife in a disrespectful manner, and you talked to mine in a disrespectful manner.
Oh.
And I never told nobody that. Even when you were on, and you could say you were on those psych meds, and you could say that you weren't. But as a man, some of the things that you said, Tyrese, deserve me to box your mouth.
No. Let's not box you in your mouth. Box your mouth. Now
No, we were talking because this is something that I never wanted to say. And since he wants to be, well, why envy? I'm telling him why. You said disrespectful shit to my wife.
What do you say?
It's neither here nor there. To the point where my wife doesn't call you back anymore. And to the point when you started talking to psych meds, me and my wife had a conversation. She said, well, maybe Tyrese was on those medicines when he said. But if you ever text me and my wife, you can't text me because I just unblocked you probably about a month ago when me and Charlamagne were talking. He told me that you were on the psych meds and this is what it was. That's what made me unblock you. So that was the reason why I stopped talking to you and will not reach out to you anymore, because I'm like, I don't want to remember my brother as that.
So another issue that I'm having with this interview is they are just spitting out numbers, dates, and none of them are necessarily exactly on point. You just heard DJ Envy say, I just unblocked you a month ago. Charlamagne said it was longer than a month ago.
That. And maybe you were going through problems. So if I talk to your wife, disrespectful, I don't expect for you to come check on me. Okay. And that's how I felt at that time.
You did that to a lot of people, though.
But maybe y'all should have had this conversation.
No. Listen.
This is great. We haven't even got one to have.
That's it. And I'm going to say this, because this is not the first time I've said this. The things that I said and did, the people that I rubbed the wrong way, the things that I posted, my conduct overall, that was literally out of my control. I've literally prayed that people can find it in their heart to not hold me to something that I said and did while I was literally out of my mind. And if we could expect God to give us grace, we should always extend that same grace. So what I'm saying to you is, everybody clearly could see that something was going on. Something's happening.
I want to stop there. At the point that DJ Envy, because let's not pretend, DJ Envy is a man who cheats. We don't know if when he cheated before Erica Mena, but we just know he is a man who cheats because he definitely got caught with the Erica Mena stuff. DJ Envy is also a man who probably has some insecurities now because a man like Tyrese Gibson is hitting on his wife. Do I believe Gia when Gia says specifically that he would say things like, well, if you were with a man like me, if you were with a man like me, this wouldn't have happened? I do believe her. We're going to get into Tyrese showing proof and Gia coming back and forth, but I'm giving you guys this in real time because I've already done all of this research. Do I believe that Tyrese did that? Yes. Do I believe that being on that particular drug could have affected him and potentially made him say and do some of these things? Yes. And I want to show you guys specifically what Rexalty can do to somebody. Tell the doctor right away if you notice worsening depression, other psychiatric conditions, unusual behavioral changes, including unaliving thoughts, other mental mood changes, including new or worsening anxiety, panic attacks, trouble speaking, irritability, hostility, angry feelings, impulsive actions. That is what he was taking. And to show you guys another thing, this is some of the stuff he was doing online. So at the time, Gia had become almost best friends with Tyrese. Tyrese would be on the phone with Gia in bed next to Envy. That's how close they had become, and they were good friends. If somebody is saying something to somebody's wife that is making the wife feel uncomfortable, she has every right to back away from the situation. Right? I agree with that part. Would I be the person to reach out to Tyrese and say, what is going on? Yes, I would be. But you know, it's a lot of gray area in this. It's a whole lot. But this is the kind of stuff that Tyrese was saying at the time, that he has admitted to now being on this drug that made him say and do things that he can't remember, that he feels are out of his character. What is it doing? Sorry.
I'm broke. I'm waiting on my Will Smith wire. It ain't came in yet. So go to my Facebook.com.
He basically said during his divorce that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett were going to be wiring him $5 million because he was broke and he needed the money to fight in court. He has now admitted that he was on that drug and it caused him to do and say things that, again, were out of his character. So I think when we're dealing with somebody who is upfront about their struggles and what a particular drug might be doing to them, I do think that you kind of extend them grace. Just my opinion. What is weird, though, is he said that it forever changed his relationship with Will and Jada. My thing is, Will and Jada are the biggest proponents for mental health. Will and Jada even let people come and live with them who are having struggles. So Tyrese is having this very public struggle. Where is Will and Jada? Where is the red table talk? They just distance themselves. So it is funny how, you know, different people receive different extensions of grace from Will and Jada. Just saying. Just saying. Jada, where's the red table talk for Tyrese?
Crying video. What more do you want from me?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. It's something that's happening. And so now, when you're out of your mind, you don't go on Instagram and say, I just got off the phone and Will Smith is sending me $5 million when I never even talked to Will Smith.
Oh, you don't call Jada and say, I ain't no killer, but don't push me.
Right.
Revenge is like the joy that
You
you
said that
Yeah,
when?
I did on the phone to Jada because I was.
So, okay. We're at a moment where somebody is talking about their mental health and you are mocking them. I know this is the Breakfast Club, but you are tenured enough to know this is more of a serious conversation. Charlemagne, you knew that he was on these drugs. You knew that he was having some challenges, and this is how you respond.
Oh, you don't call Jada and say, I ain't no killer, but don't push me.
Right.
Revenge is like the joy that
You said that
Yeah,
when?
I did on the phone to Jada because I was like, maybe that'll help for her to
You was
call
hot
Will.
shit, yo. Ain't no way.
No,
What the
I really,
fuck?
yeah,
All right,
I said that.
I believe
But when
it
you told me that,
now.
that's when I had grace. I was like, damn, Ty was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
now
you
you think
So you knew that. Somebody said the red table talk was over. This was dating back to 2017. This was 2017. So the red table talk was not over. And after they found out, it wasn't like they brought him on, is the point that I'm making. Again, guys, this happened in 2017. They were big proponents for mental health and advocacy and everything else. They've even brought what's his name into their home. I'm just saying, let's continue. But Charlemagne laughing, mocking him, mocking a moment where somebody is at a break is not funny. It's not funny at all. Jessa Larry is laughing. You've now heard that this man was going through something and you're laughing at him. He says no, they have never been the same ever since. Tyrese talked about it.
I was like, maybe that'll help for her to
You was
call
hot
Will.
shit, yo. Ain't no way.
No,
What the
I really,
fuck?
yeah,
All right,
I said that.
I believe
But when
it
you told me
now.
that, that's when I had grace. I was like, damn, Ty was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
But now you
Going.
think about it, what have I ever said about Tyrese?
Nothing.
Nothing but positivity. In my book,
That's not true.
when I did interviews, there's nothing that I've ever said negative
We
about
didn't
Tyrese.
show Tyrese a lot of grace when we were reporting those headlines. I can admit.
And I
Okay,
remember getting up there
that's
reporting
what I'm
headline and
talking.
you straight bust out laughing. He did it. You did
And
it.
that's what I'm talking about. So I'm saying, literally, I don't do anything for anybody expecting anything in return, but to say, well, you know what? I know that if my divorce had ultimately happened, I don't really know that I'd be sitting in front of Envy right now. So now extend that grace to me to say, I'm gonna put myself in Tyrese's shoe, whether it's drunk, whether it's segments, that's my brother. And when I leave this station, I still get to go home to a wife and a family. And for whatever reason, this nigga didn't even know my name. He was envy. Your wife was on the phone, beautiful. You know, Rashawn. And I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
So everything that happened the way it did. And in my mind, I didn't look at it any other way but doing God's work. And in this room, in this situation, good seed is planted. So if my name ever come across the desk, if there's anything that y'all have to report, because you got the rumor report, you got things that you got a job to do. But the grace and the energy that I'm feeling from what's being reported doesn't feel like there's any connectivity to me at all.
Well, you know why now? Because Envy was upset. I'm not gonna lie, I felt the way I told you this about, coming down to Atlanta, doing the interview that never came out. I felt like my time was wasted.
And that wasn't on me. And you know that.
Yeah. So I mean, we both had our little issues that were just petty shit. That's all. But we love you, my brother.
And that's what brothers do.
And you apologize to me for wasting my time. So I'll apologize publicly to you for not showing you that grace when we was doing those rumor reports.
Well, listen, it's like I said, y'all have a job to do, man. But yeah, it's like
you don't mean that.
Huh?
You don't mean that.
I don't mean what?
That we have a job to do. You don't want. Come on. You don't want us to report on you like we do everybody else.
Y'all have a job to do to report.
Now that is fair. That is fair. We're not at this point. We're not talking about Tyrese's mental health. We're specifically talking about Tyrese expecting that he get different treatment than every other celebrity because at a certain point he helped Envy with his wife. That's a toss-up. Do I think Envy could be extending him grace? Yes. In reality, DJ Envy is probably still thinking this man is trying to take my wife that I was cheating on, but he can't have her. It's a tough one, y'all. I'm telling you guys, it was a lot going on.
Report the things that come across y'all desk. I just ask for grace.
But some of the shit be funny.
Well, I gave you that.
You have to laugh and you got to report it. But it's the dialogue that comes along with it after it's reported.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, come on, man. Come on, man. I thought I was your man.
Some of it funny.
That's mostly him over there.
Oh, God.
He sued Home Depot for $1 million. That ain't funny to y'all?
That's not true.
No, it's not true.
I'm not suing Home Depot for $1 million. It's $450.
$450 million.
Okay. We got Thomas Braswell. Thank you so much for joining the membership. We are definitely having a members only live. We're gonna get into some things this week. Maybe what's today? Wednesday. I have another video to do for Salt Lake City. I have an appointment on Friday. Maybe Friday, Saturday, we'll do a members only live. You guys will be able to come up. We'll be able to talk about some behind the scenes things, the demonetization stuff, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for joining the membership. Quincy, DJ Envy's wife is Tyrese's type. That is definitely true. Definitely true. They could be cousins, is him and the Gia and the ex-wife. Be blessed. Thanks for the super chat. We have 1,003 straight shooters sipping on this morning deep dive tea and only 350 likes. Y'all hit that like button. We're giving you all some morning tea, some discourse. Thank you for the super chat. Lexi Lane, thank you for the super sticker. Or Lexi Lean, I'm sorry. Pangalanco SM, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Okay, let's get back.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, see, now that's funny. I was like, Tyrese only $1 million?
Yeah,
okay,
that's just stupid.
All right.
Yeah, by the time I pay my lawyers their retainer and break it up with the two brothers that work with me for 13 years, what am I suing somebody for $1 million for?
So what was the lawsuit over? They wouldn't give you a lawnmower or something?
Yo, shut up.
You see?
You see? It's not me. What?
What do you mean? No.
What do you mean?
The only reason I wanted you to hear anything about this lawsuit is he made a comment that he spent like $8 to $10 million at Home Depot. Right? You guys remember that figure. He spent $8 to $10 million at Home Depot. So he's mad because he felt like his contractors were racially discriminated against when they went to Home Depot to buy stuff for him. So we don't really need to get into that.
27 years. Father was a crackhead, still a crackhead there. And then when the psych meds finally wise, if it would ever happen. So you put something in my system, it's not only going to have it's going to have the most extreme adverse effects. And it ended up playing out for the world to see. Yeah, I got a 12-minute video on the internet that I never knew I filmed that was uploaded and was on the internet for 3 straight months. I was a meme. I got the ugliest crying faces of all time. And it became the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me ever. And I didn't even know I did it. And I didn't know that the jokes was flying. I didn't know that what more do you want from me or congrats. I never knew that none of that was out there. And then when the psych meds finally got out of my system, as a person, and this is something that I want y'all to really, really hear me on this. Why don't you drink? Why don't you do drugs? Why don't you fuck around? You've been in the game. You ain't never had no wine. You ain't never drunk a beer, nothing. My mother was an alcoholic, rest in peace, for 27 years. Father was a crackhead, still a crackhead. So everything about my house and everything about my environment that I grew up in the hood, it made me work really hard to be the opposite of everything that I grew up in and around. So that's why I don't fuck around to this day. So imagine working.
In this deep dive, I found out so much about Tyrese. I think like 2000 on Oprah, he gave his mom a house. Then then he took it back from her because she had moved, I think, some of his brothers into the house, put her in an apartment. At some point after that, she relapsed. When she got clean again, he bought her another house. Just so many like stories that I didn't even realize. I did not realize that the mom was alcoholic and the father was on stronger drugs. So his story, he's definitely overcome adversity. With that being said, once we get into his thoughts on child support, I'm like, you're not a great
working
guy.
this hard to be the opposite of that, to then to have something like that to happen, and I end up becoming everything that I worked hard to not fuck with my whole life. I mean, some other nigga can just get drunk and be like, oh man, my bad, man, nigga, I was on one, you know, whatever that is. When I tell you, I was more fucking depressed and sad about the damage that was done for me being out of my mind, because it was like, well, see, if you want to know why I don't drink and don't smoke and don't ever fuck with nothing,
that's the reason why.
I mean, I'm talking about, I pulled out the biggest water hose with lighter fluid and burned down every fucking tree I could for every personal, business, movie, franchise, and relationship. Listen, because you're going through some shit, don't mean you got to get into some psych meds and fuck up every relationship.
Can you laugh at it now when you go back?
No, he ain't laughing.
I can't. You know why I can't laugh? Because
right. He's not laughing because it's serious to him. You're laughing, Jess. You're laughing, Charlemagne, because his mental health is not serious to y'all. And I have a problem with that. Just my opinion.
Because envy still feels away. And I ain't seen this brother since it all happened. And I don't even know what I text this brother or his wife. Well, so I'm here still on an apology tour, and this was 2017.
Well, I will say this, as far as I'm concerned, it's over. You know what I mean? We had a conversation. I'm sure my wife will feel the same way. But yeah, you're right. And the reason I say that is and I'm not going to bring it back, but I'm going to tell you what my mind frame was. I had somebody that worked for you call me up. And what I felt and what happened to me, you must have did to him as well. And we'll talk behind the scenes what it was. And that just made me say, you know what, let me take a step away.
I'll paraphrase. Basically, somebody that worked for Tyrese came and said, stay away from Tyrese. He will mess up your life and he will try to get with your wife.
Just think about how many times I was in Atlanta. You're like, yo, hey, come by the crib. Because I just didn't know who you were as a person. Because when I looked at you as big bro, right? And when I was going through my problems, you would call, you would check your I'm checking on you. And this is bull.
So if he's inviting you to Atlanta, when did you finally block him? 1, 2, at what point do you say, are you okay? Because he's checking on you. You aren't checking on him, but you're still taking his text or calls and just saying, no, I'm not going to go. DJ, you're full of it.
And to people to understand, it wasn't at 2 in the afternoon. Tyrese called me 4 in the morning before work. When I'm driving to work, he's talking to me on the way to work, making sure you're good. And calling my wife right after, making sure she's good. Then calling me in the middle of the show, talking to me. And
8-hour conversation.
And these were like my moments where I was probably the most fucked up in life. Remember how you was fucked up anything other than my counter?
What about me?
I was dehydrated.
Remember you dehydrated?
What about me?
I was there.
While I was fucked up.
Well,
where's that love?
We ain't about to do no oppression Olympics.
Yeah, no, but there was no love. And the reason there was no love is because of those messages and what you said. And I couldn't love somebody that I felt didn't love me. And you said, and like you said, I came there for God. I came there as an assignment, and I came there as this. But like I said before, you were the preacher that was preaching that wasn't living the way he was supposed to.
Who you divorced, Samantha or Envy?
I don't know.
First of all, if you're happy, it ain't you. You jealous of shit, somebody else.
I listen. However way we got to that place, my apology has already happened. But I want to tell you, my only disappointment is I didn't know you to arrive at how I feel about you. I didn't know you to arrive at how I feel about what you ultimately did to your wife at the time. It was also none of my business. I just did what I did. I stepped in. There was the assignment. And then when somebody goes that far, when you going through some shit, whether you don't like the way it feels or how it looks or whatever, be like, yo, I know your heart. And I expected, if I had any expectation, which I didn't have any, it would be like, yo, man, this shit is hot right now. Because I had a lot of people hit the parachute button like, man, something's going on, bro. We got.
He could have called him at the very least. What is this? Why are you hitting on my wife? I don't know. He did do something great for Envy. I just don't feel that Envy was invested in him at all.
So no, because you always say
I don't take anything personal, but my family and my kids.
But he wasn't in his right mind. That's all.
You weren't taking your family personal when you was with Erica Mena, though. they weren't like at the forefront of your mind.
We're having a conversation, but when we do that, I step away. And the reason I step away is because I don't want it to go past where I go. And you know where I go.
Yeah. Well, I guess I might as well.
But I feel what you're saying.
I can get away from the Breakfast Club for a second and say, for anybody who I have not ran into, where you got a text message or a phone call or a 12-minute voice note in the middle of the night, or you seen me say some shit or post some shit while I was out of my mind.
He called Jada quoting Tupac Hail Mary, man.
I said it's done. I said it's done. I'm done. I'm good. We
was
good.
not my usual
We
self.
good.
Please don't hold me to anything that I said. And if you expect God to forgive you for things that you say and do, extend that same grace to me.
We good.
Now, sorry to everybody, not just you and your wife.
Man. You gotta sing
I'm sorry. I ain't saying shit. Singing shit.
Well, if it means anything, Tyrese, I wasn't
Chocolate nigga asking the chocolate nigga say,
supposed to be up here today. Tyrese Gibson, I was not supposed to be up here today, but they said you was coming. I was like, oh, what? Shit, right. I'm coming up here. The fuck? So I extend you grace every time I talk about you. They be sitting up here. Well, I'm sorry, Abby. He be sitting up here, big plan about a divorce, and I'm like, first of all,
I ain't never played with that man.
Yes, you did. When I reported the story, you was like, oh, what now? And I'm like, hold up. First of all, he's been bamboozled by a woman, and it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy, and I feel like,
ooh, Jess Hilarious. Just be quiet sometimes. Jess Hilarious comes in and she panders to the right celebrities all the time. You don't know if that woman bamboozled him. You have one side of a story, but it is interesting that you always seem to take their side. And in this case, it's Tyrese's side. This is why I cannot get with Tyrese. Tyrese is mad because his wife or his ex-wife now wants $20,000 a month in child support. Tyrese told this whole story, and this is where I'm going to start paraphrasing because we're not going to go over this whole thing. I'm going to give you guys everything that happened, and you can kind of form your own conclusions. The woman wants $20,000 for child support per month. Tyrese even said when they got married, which was 2017, when he started taking this medicine that had him behave differently, she signed an ironclad prenup. He made mention of, I met her, she only had on a $12 dress. Her prenup was ironclad. She was with me in my darkest time when my first wife had tried to keep my daughter away from me, which is why I actually started taking the antidepressant medications. And now she's only with you. It's transactional. Well, she signed an ironclad prenup, so she didn't get anything in the divorce. Child support is not money for the wife. It's to ensure that your child lives the same lifestyle that your money affords you. I have such an issue with people. Oh, she's just trying to price gouge me. You just said you spent $8 to $10 million on basically your backyard. Tyrese's backyard was famous because he could literally have people from Benihana or the best restaurants come in because there was like woks. There was places to make pizza. Tyrese's backyard was infamous. The amount of money he spends on clothes and everything else is infamous. Let me show you Tyrese's Instagram, because Tyrese felt a way specifically about people reporting on him getting his new girlfriend this $100,000 truck. He was very upset that people were like, you're fighting child support payments, but you can get your girlfriend a $100,000 truck. You can spend $8 to $10 million just doing stuff at Home Depot. On that same video where he said he was broke, he was talking about he's about to go hop on a jet. He's now bought a huge mansion. What are we doing here? It's not about the woman. She's not getting spousal support. She's getting child support based on the amount of money that you make. Like, what are we doing here? It's like a whole, she don't deserve that. And then his TGT partner who hated him because he felt like Tyrese was after more money. Like, remember TGT got, it was a horrible name, got canceled. It was Tyrese, Tank, and Genuine. It got canceled because Tyrese felt he deserved more money than the rest. So Tank hated him for years because he felt like Tyrese was money hungry. But now, as it involves this woman asking for child support based on your salary, it's a problem. Now he's standing by his brother. But truth be told, Tank, you were out here laying it low and spreading it wide and letting everybody, you know, gobble up your groceries, including Monique Slaughter from Love and Hip Hop and God knows who, doing all this stuff. If you choose to lay with somebody and have a child, you have a financial responsibility to that child. So even at the crux of the Breakfast Club, technically, what I feel as making fun of his mental health, his core issue was that he felt like they were giving too much energy and a spin to what was going on with his ex-wife and the child support issue. That's why I can't get behind everything that's being said, because we're not stupid. We're not dumb. We see what you're doing. It was, I'm going to come on here. I haven't been on here in a long time. I'm going to be on the Breakfast Club. I'm going to bring up what I did for DJ Envy, and then I'm going to basically shame him into being a better friend to me and not reporting everything that my wife is saying or my ex-wife and my responses to her. Because what I don't want is to spend additional money on my child who she has custody of, because it's not like we see that he has fought for custody and wants custody. But instead, I'm going to do what I want for whomever I want with my money, which he should be able to. But the courts have said you need to pay $20,000 because that's how much money you make. You have enough money to sue Home Depot for $450 million. You can buy people houses. You can buy people cars. Well, the court has said you owe $20,000 a month to support that child and keep that child at the lifestyle that they should be accustomed to with you being their father. And that's just that, period. All of this fight for that, I don't get it. I also don't get, he posted something. I was like, oh, Tyrese. He posted a happy birthday to this lady. I don't like her. I'm not a Kim Burrell fan at all. He's over here saying she's the greatest. This is the Kim Burrell I know.
How's gonna get out on the street talking about we prophesying and laying hands on the sick and they shall recover, and as soon as you lift your hands, the wind blowing somebody's nose and they about to pass out because you must have a dog. Smell like you've been eating deviled eggs.
This is who you are praising in this post. I don't like her. He also, like I said, Erica Mena was up and through. He posted this scene from Love and Hip Hop where Erica was so happy that she had just gotten her divorce finalized from Safari, but then started crying when she realized that Safari really wasn't going to have to pay her anything. Because again, it's based on your income. So it's funny how all these things come full circle. Tyrese, I don't want to get into everything. I don't think we technically have to get into everything, but there were things that even Just Hilarious said. So now you guys know it's a sensitive topic and should be dealt with like professionals, but that's not what we're going to get from Just Hilarious. Just Hilarious, Charlamagne makes a comment to say, oh, I don't really remember something. And this is what Jess responded.
Tyrese.
What happened?
You ain't never called me to release the footage.
I said, yo,
Now
you got a
you on the
relationship with
segment.
Brian?
I don't know, Brian. I know.
That's not funny. Now you on the psych meds. That's not funny. It's not cool. It's not responsible. I thought that I don't know. We'll listen to a little bit more of it, and then we'll get into Tyrese's response, because Tyrese has since released multiple responses, and so has DJ Envy. Both are standing their ground on what was being said.
For you, your marriage was in shambles years ago. I don't even know why. Yes, it was in big shambles, but she didn't leave. It's all right. Okay, you made a lot of changes to that face.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You got a job to do. You got a job to do to report the shit that's coming across your desk. But my thing is, man, my thing is, like, do y'all know what it's like to go home to an empty house?
Hell yeah,
you
me,
don't.
not them, me.
Nobody could survive that, bro. The fact that I'm sitting here and ain't fucking checked into a mental health hospital, like, bro, I know where you was at with it. And I've never went to that level of kind of like the idea that this might be over for me and I'm gonna lose everything because of a mistake I made.
I believe what they're talking about is DJ Envy's thoughts of potentially unaliving himself.
I never made that mistake, and I'm still out.
Now, the difference is if DJ Envy was talking about it, would they be laughing and cracking jokes? I don't think so.
Marriage.
Look, you didn't
I came home,
red flags?
took the clothes and the fucking hangers off.
You didn't see red flags, Tyrese?
No, I did not, and nobody else did either. No.
Let me ask you a question. You know, y'all both talk about it so much and on public. There's not anybody in between that can say, you know what, let's discuss, because at the end of the day, y'all do have a child.
Just here to learn says confronting Envy negated saying he did it for God. Maybe say I'm hurt, I didn't hear from you, but not I am mad at you, you didn't save my marriage. Thank you for the super chat. It's weird. This whole thing is weird. I don't think that there is any one person in this scenario who I felt was completely 100% honest or handled this well. None of them. I think they all, minus Jess, because she didn't even really know what was going on. I think that none of them really, they all came into this for themselves. This interview was definitely a lot. It was ego driven, definitely. Thank you for the super chat. Diamond Eats says, how do I become a member? I've been asking for 2 weeks. I'm sorry. In the description of every video is a link to join the membership. Thank you for supporting the channel. Sorry, I didn't see that question. Thank you, Diamond. It was a lot. Let's see. You put yourself in that spot. I'm not sorry for him. Which one are we talking about? DJ Envy or
child? Yeah. You don't want the child to see mom and dad talk about
comment and contributed to the beatdown.
Oh, never made a song about these niggas.
So with people I know,
to
be using these platforms to make a mockery of some shit that y'all know all about in your own way. Y'all story ain't got nothing to do with my story. Y'all marriage and the dynamics of challenges y'all marriage ain't got nothing to do with mine. But I never made a mockery of neither one of y'all marriage. And y'all shit was out there in the press and the news. Never jumped in no comment and contributed to the beatdown.
Oh, never made a song about these niggas.
So I just expected some grace.
You having a real conversation.
Exactly. I'm saying his way of going at somebody would be like a diss track, or but y'all doing radio play a lot.
Yeah. So I never did that.
Yeah.
You know, like there's been some real shit that Charlamagne went through.
Absolutely.
I got an Instagram. I can write whatever the fuck I want, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, man, this ain't the right time. It's total for this whole shit. Then I found out he did it to Big Boy.
Okay.
I love you. He's probably feeling it and in it, and we don't talk as much as we used to. But man, we want to just send some love and some prayers out. Man, nigga, if that's what's happening.
Tyrese says it never happened. DJ Envy says at a certain point he did reach out to Tyrese. Tyrese says it never happened. I don't even know who to believe at this point. It's so. What did Nene say? I'm just so tired. This was a whole day of going back and forth and watching Tyrese. Tyrese had this to say.
Messages. And I don't see nothing in the text messages directly into Envy or directly into his wife where I disrespected him or her. First of all, I think of all things that hurt me. Anybody who knows me knows that I know and been around some of the.
So Tyrese came back out and said he pulled all the records. Gia was talking to him as late as 2022. He pulled something from DJ Envy, but when I saw it, it was only 2 things and it was very blurry and he chose not to show it. He showed the text messages from Gia. So again, that's not clear to me, and nor were the dates where DJ Envy unblocked him or blocked him. None of this was very clear. It was like a lot of back and forth. Tyrese also had this to say.
People like check on Tyrese, y'all go check on him. Because y'all know that was a very, very hard conversation to have. Some very big, some very disappointing reveals. I'm gonna make a choice. I'm gonna make a choice that I wish both DJ Envy and Charlemagne had made for me for the last 5 years. As
he also said it was really hard for him not to go and beat the dog out of Envy when Envy said he would box his mouth. We both know, or we all know, there would be no way in any way, shape, or form that DJ Envy would beat. DJ Envy probably couldn't even reach Tyrese's mouth, let alone attack the guy from Transformers.
I've been going through too many things. I'm gonna make a choice to leave this shit alone. Y'all know, when you born and raised in LA.
Now, this video where he said he was gonna leave it alone came before him releasing the receipts. So he said he was gonna leave it alone. Then he went back and started pulling his receipts. It's all very weird. It's extremely weird. There's no clear winner. I think the mental health community is the loser in this conversation because you had a man spilling his guts about his struggles with mental health and his issues with a certain drug, and they laughed at him. They made fun of him. It was really disgusting. The other angle is he had a motive and he had a reason to do this. And I support him in coming forward with his mental health struggles. What I don't support is him using some of it as a tool. Because if you watch from the beginning of this video, I said, wait, you're saying this, but then you're doing this. So what is this? I do think that he had his motives. His motives were to come on and basically vilify DJ Envy for making fun of him with some of the dumb stuff he says about child support. Could DJ Envy and Charlemagne give him a call the way they do a lot of the people that they're close to? Definitely. Do I think that he did a very beautiful thing for DJ Envy's family? Definitely. Do I think that if somebody is sharing their mental health struggles, they deserve respect and they're on your platform? Definitely. Do I think that the Breakfast Club really has the respectability to do that? No. And I was disappointed all the way through. I was disappointed through the entire conversation. I don't even want to give you guys all the back and forth and who was lying, because DJ Envy's wife came on and was basically like, well, if Tyrese is calling us a liar, we're going to have to produce the receipts. If these people like each other at all, if they had any relationship, at this point, this should be offline conversations. Now, this is now fodder for the Breakfast Club and boosting their ratings, because they had almost 1 million views on the Tyrese interview specifically. So they are making money off this. Similar to every time that they bring it back up or have Gia call in, that stuff goes viral and they know it. So Tyrese, you're feeding into it, or maybe Tyrese is feeding into it because R&B music really isn't selling. So you have an album to promote and singles to promote that technically probably won't get very much radio play. So you're playing into this as well. It's crazy. It's crazy the things and the lengths that people will go to, but I 100% am with Tyrese, and I stand with Tyrese in if he's telling us that his mental health was impacted adversely by taking Rexulti, and I already showed you guys some of the side effects of Rexulti. I believe him. But in terms of shifting narratives to what you want people to say because you've helped them in the past, that has nothing to do with your mental health and everything to do with you shifting a narrative. And for that, I do have to call you out on. So Y'all, this was crazy. If anything else happens that's worthwhile in this story, I will let you know. My deep dives are usually not this long, but I wanted to see what you guys were saying in the comments and how you felt. Because like Ali says, Tyrese brought this on himself. Didn't he do something similar to Derrick Rose allegedly? I didn't even know. Queen of Coco Tulsa says, that is the issue I have with the situation that does not seem genuine. He is suing Home Depot and Lowe's for $450 million. He does want his wife his ex-wife to get $20,000 a month. It's $240,000 a year in child support. If Tyrese is making $5 million a year and you can buy your new girlfriend $100,000 cars, what's the problem with your child being able to go to the top schools, or your child living in a nice apartment or a nice condo? I don't get it. I don't understand. It's a whole lot. Nobody dealt with this in the best way. And I hope that there is never another discussion on mental health on the Breakfast Club, because it fell short for me. If you're watching this and you're on the replay, I'm going to read these comments. Definitely tell me how you feel, because some of you might feel like the Breakfast Club doesn't owe Tyrese anything. And this is what the Breakfast Club does. They make fun of everything. And that's what the platform is there for. But I was disappointed. So anyway, before we go, this is what Rexalty will do if you're just coming in. The drug that Tyrese says had him behaving erratically was Rexalty. And it says, tell the doctor right away if you notice worsening depression or other psychiatric conditions, unusual behavior changes, including possible unalived thoughts or attempts, mental health, mood changes, including new or worsening anxiety, panic attacks, trouble sleeping, irritability, hostile, angry feelings, impulsive actions, which might have you going online and saying that Will Smith was going to give you $5 million to help you with your divorce. Who knows? But I do feel like if somebody's upfront about their mental health, we should be giving them some grace. A call never hurt. Are you okay? I believe in being your brother's keeper, especially if they helped you save your marriage. At least attempt a real phone call, a sit down. Did you do this? Why? Is this who you are? It's a lot. Bye, y'all. Have a good morning. I'll see the people who watch Salt Lake City a little later today. I'll go live for my Salt Lake City review.